Okay, I'm joined by Paul from Conoco. Paul, can you just take a minute to kind of introduce yourself and your company?
Yep, so I'm Paul Robinson. I work for ConocoPhillips UK at the Teesside Operations Plant on Seal Sands. My title is Competency and Human Performance Lead. So I basically look after all the learning and development for the site, including ongoing competency checks of people, the apprenticeships, things of that nature.
Excellent. And obviously things are different this year. Last year we had a flagship event and you were one of our great contributors at our National Apprenticeship Week open evening. Things are very different this year, so we're doing all this remote, and we've got Brexit and a lot of other challenges. So what's going on in your sector at the moment? How are you coping with all these challenges?
So like most parts of industry, businesses, it's a challenge, as you say. I've worked for the company for 35 years, and this is obviously the first time we've come across anything so huge to affect people.
Sure.
But we're hanging in there. You know, the business is doing well, but like all companies, we're abiding by the COVID-19 guidelines. So we have restricted personnel on site, people wear masks, we've got all the cleansing that's done around the facility as well. It's the thing we have to be careful about is people's mental health. So it's one of the big challenges that we have, and luckily we have a number of people who are mental health first aiders, so that helps.
Great.
So people working from home is another thing that's different as well.
Yeah.
That's brought the challenge of obviously supplying people with more laptops and things of that nature. So it's a cost to the business, but it gets back that productivity and that efficiency.
Yeah.
So there's positives and negatives.
Yeah, sure. Okay. How many apprentices do you currently have in your organisation?
So we have 9. We have 8, as you would term, young apprentices, and we have 1 mature apprentice. So we have we tend to go for the trades of electrical, instrumentation, mechanical and process operations. So we have 2 each of those trades. One set is the 3rd years, the other set is in their 2nd year. And then the mature apprentice is doing learning and development. That's actually a previous operator apprentice who went through the business, became a competent operator, moved onto the panel and did other activities around the operations area, and has now moved into my department and learning to be a trainer. So we've
doing a second apprenticeship, yeah.
He's doing a second apprenticeship, basically, yeah. Yeah, he's loving it.
Great. So Ellen has talked us through the process she went through to get her apprenticeship. So what are you looking for then? What qualities are you looking for when you're recruiting an apprentice?
So 2 main things we like to see, self-motivation and people with a curiosity of how things work, function. So they've got that interest to learn. So somebody with a curious nature. We like to be able to, we set a few tasks for people at our interviews to see what they can do to work things out. We don't expect everybody to know the answer, but if they can have a thought process that goes them down how things work and what we do at the interview, that's the type of thing. Because of the trade side of it and even the operations, we want people to have some kind of thought on a mechanical process, that type of thing, because everything's kind of mechanically. And obviously in our industry, it's chemistry involved as well. So if they have a little bit of an inkling to understand some chemistry about how the process may work, not as in, you know, specific, but in general, that's the sort of things we'll look for.
Brilliant. What does the training typically look like in your organisation? So what would you expect the apprentices to do through the time?
So for the first year is typically at the colleges. We work with local colleges, including yourself, and we like to put the tradespeople on a course together. We believe that it's the right thing to do in the sense that they kind of learn a little bit about everybody's trade, because that's important when they're back on site, because they work together as teams. So they have an understanding of some of the pitfalls and problems that each person may have. The second course is the operations course, and again in that one we like them to have some knowledge of how the equipment functions and what's inside the equipment, not just about how they operate it.
Yeah.
And then the beauty of also, if we have the 2 sets of classes at the same college, again example with yourself, we then want them to combine together and work on the training rigs that you've got. That way we believe that they can learn a little bit about how to function together as a team. So using the training rigs, they can start them, stop them, they can prepare them for maintenance, can reinstate them after maintenance, And the safe environment of the college is they can take everything apart and all that's in there is water. But obviously, you know, the intention is to learn all the correct procedures and processes at that kind of limited environment.
Yeah, so simulated work environment, really. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Safe simulated work environment.
And then when they move onto the site, we obviously have a full program for them, linked to the standards. Most companies have some form of induction that needs to be done because it's a big step from college environment to the business. So we do inductions, and then the program is set to run. They'll be given a mentor in their work environment and regular meetings with HR or training people, depending on the companies that are sort of do this.
Great. And do your apprentices have the opportunity to learn skills other than those linked to their apprenticeship?
Yeah, we like to enhance their knowledge about safety and behaviour. It's very important in our kind of industry again. So we'll put them onto maybe the next level of safety course than what the college delivers.
Yeah.
We also want them to be able to teach things as well. So we'll look to give them some basic skills in training, because these people, once they finish the apprenticeship, they're our future. And at some point, they will probably be looking after an apprentice themselves when they become a fully competent operator, technician, etc.
Right.
So exactly. So it's nice that they get this type of stuff in the early stages. It helps them as well during their training of what the expectation is and of how to train. There's a variety of other soft skills as well. We all have that ability to be leaders in the business. So we like to give them some education on, you know, how they should act and work with other people. So it helps all that behaviour side really is the big thing.
Yeah. Excellent. Great. So anything else you want to say?
So one example can be is we have a operator apprentice who came through the system. He then became fully qualified in our processes, and he's now recently moved on to a completely different role. He's become one of our maintenance coordinators, and he was selected because of his attitude, his drive, his behaviour, and his willingness to pick up more information that was really needed to be an operator. So he started to learn how the maintenance programs were. He started to interact with our maintenance teams and understand. And that's the sort of thing we look for as well. Something that is happy and interested to go above and beyond their core job.
Yeah, I suppose you see you kind of the skills developing. And if the skills develop in a certain way, then there's opportunities obviously open themselves up to utilize those skills.
Yeah. And there's other opportunities that may go a safety direction, in which case we'll look to sponsor them for safety qualifications.
Sure.
There's all sorts of opportunities out there.
Great. Excellent. So thanks for your time, Paul.
No problem.
Hopefully we'll be beating a path to your door, I'm sure.
Cheers. Bye for
Cheers,
now.
Paul.